Okay. Hey, all right. Okay. I think I'm live right now. Let me just make sure that I am. Let me go to my dashy board. Am I here, baby girl? The bit rate is a bit high. Forgot to pay attention to that. Yeah, I'm here. Very good. Very good. I just want to make sure that I was here. As long as I'm here, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. All right. So what I'm going to do now is go on Instagram. Hey guys, I'm live. But let me just turn this down for a second and go here. Okay, here we go. And let me turn it back up so they can actually hear me. And I'm going to go ahead and go live on Insta. Okay. Hi, Marquesa. You know, whenever I go on, Instagram, oops, I don't want to look like that. I got to make sure I put on the right, filter. So guys, this is giving you time to settle in. If you want to join me directly in my Zoom, please go to Zoom, mybiztool.com. Zoom, mybiztool.com. Go there, and there's a link right on that page where you can join me. Okay. I'm going to give you a shout out in a second. Right now, I'm just making sure. Oops. No, I didn't want to do that, but that's okay. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm sorry, guys. Let me just do this. Discard. Sorry about that, guys. One of the things that I've just started to do was to go live on Instagram. Yeah, but what I'm learning is, honey, if you can go live on Instagram, it needs to be set up before you go live, or you risk. Here we go. All right, can you let me go live now? Okay, I had quite a few points I wanted to cover today. I want to give, hi. By the way, if you are in, and I do believe I have it set up, I just want to make sure you guys can text me. Okay, hello. So if you're in my Zoom room right now, you should be able to text me. Let me know if you're having any issues. Everyone. Okay, there we go. Just want to make sure everybody can text me with no problems. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. Guys, you should be able to text. Check it out. Okay, you should be able to text. Just give it a try. Okay, any questions? And if you're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you are, if you look for the button that says chat, okay, so especially if you're in Facebook, even on YouTube, you can start to talk to me, and I will be able to see it over here. Okay, matter of fact, I'm gonna say a big hello, and I can see you over here. Okay. So let me know. And by the way, if you want, well, never mind, I'll do that another time. I'll give you a million instructions. Hi, guys. So let me officially start. I have so many moving parts. And don't forget, I am ADHD. So that means that it's kind of like, okay, let me just focus. So hello, my name is Marquesa Padway. Some folks call me Zoom Queen, all right? But I am the chief coach of my beloved virtual business club, yes. And all things virtual technology, not just for anybody, but for individuals that want to, grow their influence, grow their income, and increase their impact when it comes to leveraging platforms like Zoom. Now, if you're just chilling on Zoom for the heck of it, I don't know if this is for you, but if you want to use Zoom strategically, you're in the right place. Hey, Stephanie, I'm going to bring you up in a bit. So what are we talking about today? Guys, I have some goodies for you. I even organized myself ahead of time. Okay, let me do this. Organize myself ahead of time to make sure that I had all my points lined up in a row. So I want to hop into it because I only got so much time with you. So what am I talking about today? Oh, this is going to be big. What if you don't Zoom a lot, or rather you Zoom a lot, but you don't really host? In other words, you do not start the Zoom. So what happens? What should you know? If you're like, oh my gosh, I'm on Zoom and I'm hosting and I don't know where to start. Do I need a virtual background? I don't know where to start. So if that is you, okay, even if you've been doing this for a minute, I'm just going to share with you 3 things. I want to share the what and the why. If you want to get down deep and dirty and learn the how, I invite you to become a member of the Virtual Business Club. How do you do that? It's right there. It's virtualbiz.club, virtualbiz.club. Now, if you're thinking, I want one of those fancy licenses you have to start with the Virtual Business Club. And then as an exclusive member benefit, you can add on the best Zoom license in the world. Okay, so you can do these kind of tricks here. Okay, so I'm going to tell you the first 3 steps where to start. Also, there is an email that went out from Zoom. I also send it out. People started to panic. If you do not update your Zoom client, you will not be able to Zoom, even log in, participate on a Zoom if you do not update your Zoom client. So we want to spend a few minutes on that. Number 3, one of the smartest women I know, her name is Stephanie Angelo, a fellow professional speaker. She's also a Zoom superstar. She posted a question in my Facebook group. Now, guys, these are the kind of people you hang around when you're in that group, right? But she posted a question about a huge event where she's going to be a speaker coming up soon. And it was a very interesting question. So I said, Stephanie, you know what? Let me address your question live. So she's agreed to. So she's there. I'm going to bring her up in a bit. And she's going to kind of share her question. And you're going to see me sort of take her through the decision-making process. It's not what you think. Gotcha? So we're going to do that piece. And then what else? Here was my teaser. If you are watching me on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn possibly, because I know LinkedIn is on, Twitter, I'm in a lot of different places. Take a look. You should see that the Zoom logo is not here. It only says powered by Zoom, but you actually see the Virtual Business Club logo, which is my logo. So just to be clear, what is that? You may say, well, how did you do that, Marquesa? Oh my God, how did you do that? Okay, it's called removing the Zoom watermark. It's a watermark situation, okay? Which means it only shows up when you live stream. So if I'm in a regular Zoom like you guys here, I don't know that you can see that. Let me know in the chat room if you can see that Zoom is not there. I don't think you can. So I don't think you can see that Zoom isn't there. Okay, but if you're now, if you're thinking, Marquesa, I want to see it though. I'm in here, but I want to see it. Then go to facebook.com/Marquesa Petway. I'm gonna put it in the chat room. So go to facebook.com/Marquesa. That's my name, Petway. If you don't know how to spell my name, shame on you. It's right there. If you're on Instagram, my name is spelled somewhere, okay? It would take me forever to spell it. But just go to, and by the way, you can also go to one page I'm sending you to, which is zoommybiztool.com, and there's a link to the Facebook page. If you go there, you will see me live streaming, and you will see that I have completely branded my Zoom. The Zoom logo is gone and my logo is showing, but this is only a watermark thing and this is a live stream thing, okay? So if you have more questions about it, I will say this, because I don't want people to get mad at me. You gotta have, if you're gonna do it under me, you gotta have, if you want this on your enterprise, in other words, the best license, you gotta have a license first. You gotta have the foundational license, okay? So you can find that by, again, going to zoom-to-income.com, you get that foundational license. And then if you want those special privileges, which requires administrative powers, you can get it under me, but that is a separate upgrade. So, but I just wanted to share it with you because I love it. I think it's awesome. It's so cool. All right, so now let's get into it. Let's get into it. So you know what? I'm going to start with Stephanie. Why don't we go ahead and bring you up? Because I know you got a lot of things going on, and then I'm going to come back to those 3 points later. So let's see if you're ready for me to promote you. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Stephanie. Okay. Give me a second. Hey, Michael. Hey, Jeffrey. Hey, Andrew. Hi, Elena. Okay. You see my lovely members here. Hey, guys. So good to see you. All right. There is Stephanie. Go ahead. I'm going to promote you to panelist. If you're like, Marquesa, what are you Zooming on? And, this is the Zoom webinar platform. The Zoom webinar platform. So what does that mean? Let me go. Oh, good. There you go. Wonderful. Hi, Stephanie. How you doing?
Hey.
Okay. Stephanie, what is your business? Guys, watch me do this little trick. You see Stephanie's name is right there. Stephanie, put in the chat room, what would you like me to put under your name? It could be your website. It could be your social media. Give me
Wow. Let's see. Broken wrist, 2 places. Let's see. You could say I'm company culture speaker, trainer, and consultant, but that's a whole lot to put in there. So my website, www.stephanieangelo.com would be super.
Okay, so watch this, guys. And I know you're like, oh, what are you doing? We can't see. Since I'm the host, I'm just clicking on those 3 dots above her head. Everybody knows about the 3 dots, right? And then I'm clicking something that says change panelist appearance. Okay, so I'm clicking that. And then description is, let me type this out, StephanieAngelo.com, right? Very good. I'm always jealous, guys, of people with simple enough names and I'm just going to call her a Zoom rock star. Simple enough names where they can do that. I mean, if you go, Marquesa Patway, people would just shoot me. You expect me to spell that name? So guess what? Do you see that? Isn't that cool? Do you see how I just branded her? Isn't that? Yeah. Impressive, right? So I'm going to go ahead and hit record. Okay, record to the cloud. We are recording. Why? Because I can use this content somewhere else. Not just live. It's going to show up on all of these platforms. I think I'm live streaming in 8 different places. But also, I can break this off and make it into a blog or put it anywhere I want to put it. Okay. All right, Stephanie, you're in the hot seat. You had a wonderful question. Why don't you go ahead and hit us with it?
So here's the thing. I am really accustomed to Zoom. I use it a lot. I use breakout rooms and stuff. I even have a board game that is analog style and digitized. So I've had people all over the world play the board game, which we start with Zoom and then we go off into another site. So I'm accustomed to doing a lot of technology at once, possibly more than a lot of people do, because having the game and everything, it's a lot going on. I have a conference coming up. It's a repeat client. It's not based in the USA. The last time I spoke with him, I had about 328 people in my session. So I'm expecting about that many again. It's going to be a workshop that I do a lot. It's going to be 4 hours this time. And so to do a lot of the things that I currently do in the live in-person version, I want to shake things up a little bit in the Zoom version. There is one particular activity that they do that it's done in pairs. And what I'm interested in doing this time is having them in pairs for the first round and then making them back in the same pair for another round, just to shake it up a little bit and not do the normal thing of just breaking people out into pairs again that are just random, but to also encourage people to be back again after breaks, because they are doing this for continuing education units. So their time in the whole 4 hours is really important. So the question was, how can we get people back in the same 2 pairs after they've been apart?
Okay. Well, first of all, people are excited because they're thinking, wait a minute, how many breakout rooms do you have? Because then you said it was about 300 participants, right? Yeah. So I'm not a math person, so maybe somebody else can give us, maybe you already know this. So let's pretend you broke off 300 people into groups of 2. About how many breakout rooms would that require?
I mean, we'd probably have to have 150 pairs. Yeah.
Yeah, 150 pairs. So, and does anyone know how many breakout rooms do you get on Zoom? And by the way, are breakout rooms a part of Zoom webinar, or are they a part of Zoom meeting?
They are, but see, now this is the client's platform, and I don't know what their enterprise has. I asked them if I could do pairs, and they said yes. But on that note, Marquesa, I probably ought to verify with them what capacity they know they can have.
Good. So this is good. So these are my Zoom platform questions. Because again, you will be in situations, especially just like Stephanie and myself and many others, when you're a professional speaker, you may have to use somebody else's stage, and that may mean virtually as well. So do I think that there's a benefit to using your Zoom platform? Absolutely, because you already have it set up, it's already branded, all that good stuff. But if you're using the client's Zoom, right, and you want to do something like this, I would definitely ask them about, I wouldn't assume, how many breakout rooms, and they may not even know how many breakout rooms do you have. I do believe that the regular Zoom Pro, even if you upgrade, has, it just depends, but at the regular Zoom Pro, I think is about 100 breakout rooms, something like that, maybe 100, so to speak. Now, Zoom Enterprise, which is the VIP one, has 3 times that amount. So there's way more breakout rooms. So I would definitely make sure I have the correct number of rooms, right? So Stephanie, so once you clarify that, your goal is you not only want to break out people, but what if you wanted to see people? Can anyone put in the chat room? And some of these things Stephanie has no interest in doing, but I put her in a hot seat and I want you guys to see the possibilities. So Stephanie, let's pretend like you were in the main room, and right before you broke everybody out, you gave them great instructions. But I don't know about you, but does anyone ever remember things? Because you're so excited, and you'll tell me something you may say to us before you break us out. Anything.
Moi?
Yeah, like a directive. Any kind
sure.
of.
Well, so I'm going to show them a video of how this particular activity is done, and then explain it to them, and then tell them how they will do that, and then just say, off you go. Right. And I'll tell them how much time I'm going to give them. And I also do the warning message that says, you've got 30 seconds left, that kind of thing.
Wonderful. So what if I told you that you could show them the quick little movie, or even put up a slide once they're already in the breakout rooms? You guys know you can do that. So you don't have to wait. Like, I can see it. I can see you showing that movie and telling them the why and giving them that value. But sometimes once people get into their breakout rooms, they're like, what'd she say? What? So then somebody spends their time explaining it. So what's a great workaround? And guys, I'm looking at your comments in chat as well as in, let me see. Okay, good. Oh, good. Okay, good. I'm getting questions or thoughts in there that's a little bit separate. So you can create a slide, a visual, and you can share it where all the breakout rooms will see it. And you may want to leave that up just for those folks that maybe didn't hear. What if somebody is running late? You know the deal. And it really gives them instructions. And I would even put the time right next to it. 2 minutes. The person with the longest hair starts first. It's amazing about the simplicity that you need to give. Wonderful. So then you break everybody out into breakout rooms. Just for the heck of it, Stephanie, wouldn't it be cool? Remember, we're just thinking outside the box, because I know you're not going to keep them in the breakout rooms for that long. But let's assume, I don't know, you were doing a retreat, because you can certainly do that. Let's say you were doing a retreat and you put people in pairs, but you wanted to give them, 20 minutes or so to implement something you just taught them. Could you maybe pop into those breakout rooms, or even sit back and see what's going on in the breakout rooms?
Yeah.
The answer is yes, right?
I actually do that when they're playing my game, because I want to make sure that they're operating it okay and everybody's good to go.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Now, Stephanie, what should you do if somebody can't figure out how to get into breakout rooms? So you're looking at it and they can't seem to get in. Let's assume that person is Andrew, and Andrew is like, I can't get in. So he's putting in the chat room, I can't get in, I can't get in. What's something maybe you can do in advance in
Well,
case that happens?
you can move them into rooms.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I will also often message them, or if I have a like an assistant, we'll message them and say, we're going to put you into a room, so they know what's happening, and then they show up in a room.
Yeah. And then on occasion, because we've all probably seen this, sometimes even if you move them, they don't move. And that could happen if folks are going through Zoom through the browser. Whenever you go through Zoom through the browser, certain little benefits you lose, certain little features you lose. Does that happen all the time? Absolutely not. What if someone took their smartphone and then they went through Safari or some other browser? That there have been situations where you can pull a person in and they're like, I can't get in. So a good way to sort of foresee that is let one of your breakout rooms be a tech room where you have somebody else. So ask your client, can you give me a techie? And put them in, because can you name the breakout room, Stephanie, if you wanted to? Absolutely. Yeah. And you may say, well, I'm not going to name 300 and something rooms or 100 and something rooms. You can just name one room. That way it'll stand out. And that one room will be your tech room. And a person can be moved into that if it happens. That way you're not distracted trying to work with that person. Does that make sense, guys? And I would also, you can make sure you go to your settings in the back end. And I would do this, check this with your client. Make sure you can upload through the chat any type of file, not just Dropbox or some of the others they show, anything. Why am I saying that? Because wouldn't it be cool to, if in case someone is having a problem, plan B is, hey, go to your smartphone and download the Zoom app, right? And then meet me there. If you can't, I had that happen to me before. I was a producer and an MC for an event, and guess what happened? One of the speakers, and this was a doctor's conference, couldn't get on. So everybody, and he was coming up. So what did we do? We gave him instructions on, we need to get you on the app. So one thing I would probably do in advance is say, I'm really excited to do this blah, blah, blah virtually on Zoom, just to make sure you're good. Would you please go to zoom.us and download the latest version of Zoom? Why? Because I may do something unique, and if you do not have the latest version of Zoom, it may be difficult for you to participate. So let them know. Just go to zoom.us/download. You go right to that page. Depending on your software, your hardware, wherever it is, it will give you instructions. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Marquesa, do you know if that zoom.us is international? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, for people, it is. It's
okay,
for
gotcha.
No matter where you are. Yeah, they put it on there. Put that, bookmark that. I'm letting everybody know, bookmark that page. And if someone goes there, it gives them all the instructions they need. I would also recommend you tell people, hey, why not download the Zoom client? Client is this physical thing sitting on your computer instead of just going right through the browser. Why? Well, because if I'm gonna put you in breakout rooms, I'm gonna move you around, I wanna maybe put you in an immersive view, it gives me more room to do more things. So you may say, well, how do I tell people to download the Zoom client? Just Google, how do I download the Zoom client, and provide that link in your email. The more pre-work you do, the happier you'll be, okay? Okay, gotcha. All right, so now let's get to Stephanie's question. So now she's in the main group, she moves everyone out. Her goal is for, once she brings everybody back, and then she puts them in groups again, if they're in the same group. Am I correct? Well, I have good news for you. Zoom Breakouts is so smart that as long as it's part of the exact same session, Zoom will automatically put those same people back into the same rooms. Did you guys hear me? Okay, gotcha. Oh, good. I see people, hey guys, I see you on Instagram. Go to Zoom. I should have put it in here and typed it. I'm sorry about that. Go to Zoom, mybiztool.com. and you can join me several different places so you can see the visual if you're on Instagram, okay? So zoommybiztool.com, I'm gonna hit post and I'm gonna pin that for you. There we go. So that, I know some people are joining me on live on Instagram and they can't see it. So is that great news or what? And I know some people are thinking, but wait a minute, Marquesa. So let me get this straight. What if Stephanie puts everyone in their breakout rooms, and so then she closes the breakout rooms and everybody comes back? Then are you telling me that she can open it right back up and it'll automatically put everyone in the same? The answer is yes. I confirmed this with Zoom directly, okay, before, because I wanted to make sure. All right, so how excited are we about that? Any questions or thoughts?
Is that the option where, because I know that there's one that's called recreate.
Okay.
Is that recreate? Or
no,
there were terms in there, you know, when you choose how many rooms and how many people per room.
Mm-hmm. Don't do recreate. It's either manually or automatically. You want automatically. That means you're letting Zoom automatically, you know, design the rooms. Do not put recreate, do not put manually. Manually means I'm going to move people around, okay? Don't do recreate either. You know, recreate is good if you decide, okay, the first round was all about the love session. So we have a session on men, and we have a session on men are from Mars. We have a session on women. I don't even know the name of the book. Men are from Mars. Women are from where?
Venus. Venus, yeah.
I use an example I know nothing about. But let's say you want to do a round of sessions. You want to have 6 breakouts and they all have a love theme. Then you can go back and say, okay, I'm your assistant. Because remember, guys, you can assign a co-host. You can assign a co-host to manage the breakout rooms. Okay. So you can let that co-host recreate, you know, some rooms because everybody is back in the main room. And now you can say, hey guys, you can say, hey guys, now we got other theme groups. Now we're going to talk about leadership. Can you imagine? Conference, love, and then leadership. So I love the flexibility. So is that helpful for you? And then here's another thing I had said to, you know, Stephanie. I said, Stephanie, I was curious. You may have put this question in another group, right? And what happens is the answer tends to be, pay Zoom platform questions. I'm sorry. It's ask Zoom platform. I'm sorry. Ask Zoom platform questions. I'm going to stop sharing. But one of the things I said to Stephanie is, tell me, what did other people say? And what happens automatically is others will give you logistical answers. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll give you a logistical answer. Did I just come out and give you a logistical answer, or did I ask you some questions initially?
Asked me some questions and gave me some food for thought to verify further, because I did ask the event planner first, you know, and got her assurance. But this gives me a couple more questions just to double check with her, you know, because you don't want it to go south. I'm pretty comfortable with the idea of it. I know that some people think that 150 rooms is a lot to manage, and there's no way I'm going to try and visit all of them. You know, they're only going to be in it for 7 minutes ish, and then the next time for 7 minutes ish. We're not talking about a lot of time, but I'm pretty comfortable with the whole idea of it. I was just thinking, how do I create an event to where they're back with the same people again? You know, and is it just to say, remember your roommate number, write it down before you leave? You know, those kinds of things are helpful to remind the people.
Good. And it's so funny. I'm that person that will go into does anyone ever go? I know here in New York City, if I go into a grocery store and say that I have a big old bag or something, they will, want to keep it to the side, just in case, just to stop people from putting things in their bag. That's nothing new. So they'll hand me a little number. 9 times out of 10, Stephanie, I will lose that number. It'll be somewhere in my purse or what have you. So bottom line, people will forget it. So always have a backup. This is the last thing that I want to mention. I'm going to put up the screen just so people can follow us, and we'll be done with this part. Thank you for being in the hot seat. I want to show this real quick. If you're thinking, I don't care what the question is, you see where it says strategy, ask yourself, what is the experience I'm trying to get? Do I want to brand this? See, Stephanie is doing this for a different client, So she doesn't necessarily need a brand because she's already being compensated. And she may say, nope, I'm just there, as one of the many speakers. I don't need to brand it. And then the third question is the settings. When I say settings that's the back end, whether it's your settings or it's your client settings. Does that make sense? So make sure you ask yourself, what is the experience I want to give? Because the experience will dictate the features you use. I know one thing for me, I love whenever I'm going to do breakouts or frankly, any kind of Zoom event outside of live streaming, I will have people wait outside in my breakout room. And I'll have a little video that welcomes them and says, hi, you're coming into blah, blah, blah. I'm going to bring you in. And then I'll have my team send a quick little message to them to get them prepared. Please confirm you have downloaded the latest Zoom version. Please go here. You got about 5 minutes before I bring you in. You see where I'm going? And then I'm playing the music here and I bring them into energy because I'm thinking about what experience. Also, experience helps you decide which platform. Does this need to be on Zoom webinar platform or does this need to be on Zoom meeting? Guess what? Zoom webinar does not mean that it has to be a webinar. So we need to get that out of our heads. And then branding, if you want some kind of branding, and then settings, whether it's your Zoom settings or their Zoom settings. All right. Any other questions?
Not for me.
Yay. Well,
Thank you.
Dad. I know they're going to love you. And thank you for agreeing to be in the hot seat. And I'm going to pray for you that your arm heals.
Yes, this one finger typing is getting old.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. And I think you even said, I can't even put up my own ponytail. My husband has to help me.
My daughter washes my hair for me. Yes, it's kind of a big deal.
Wow. Well, Stephanie, just because you're a great professional speaker, you need to do a video of that, especially your husband doing the ponytail. Thank you so much and have a successful event and check, make sure you go back into the group after it's over and let us know how it turned out. Okay. All right. Thank you. That was fun. Okay, good. So thank you. So I would love to know what were some of the takeaways. Now, if you're on Instagram, hello, please feel free to go to zoommybiztool.com. I have it pinned if you want to join me right here in Zoom. If you're here, guys, talk to me in the chat room. Let me know what questions you have. If there was a question or something that I just went over with Stephanie. Now, remember, guys, I shared with you the what is it? Why do you want to consider it? If you want to get down into the tech part where you're like, well, how do I do it? Please join us in the Virtual Business Club, okay? How do you do this? Go to virtualbiz.club, join us. If you want to upgrade your Zoom, you can go directly to zoomtoincome.com and you'll automatically be a member of the Virtual Business Club. So there's some options. And then you can also email us at team@mlpspeak.com. So there were a couple of questions. It's 1:07, so I got to keep an eye on time. Michael says, saving current breakout room assignments for future use. If you want to save these assignments, either done automatically or manually for use in a future meeting in this series, up to 10 different save assignments are supported for each user. Great information, Michael. So did you hear that? You can save it, especially if you pre-assign it. I love that. And he also puts in here, Michael is another one of my Zoom superstars. He says the recurring meeting must have a fixed recurrence pattern. No fixed time meetings are not supported. The meeting is different from breakouts, but I get what you're saying. Okay, he's absolutely right. Let's say that you have the same meeting and it's repeating over and over and over again. Be mindful of the limitations of that meeting. But again, I don't want to get too deep into it. And then he puts on here, after breakout rooms have been assigned, but are not currently open, click the button and click Save Breakout Rooms. Provide a name for this set of assignments and click Save. See, guys, Michael just told you how. So, hello. Thank you, Michael. He's amazing. Andrew says, this raises a question on how to solve a problem for an organization for tomorrow. Absolutely. And and Elena, okay, gotcha. Elena, stay on. I'm going to talk about that at 1:30, okay? Okay, guys, I want to go through, I had a couple of other things that I wanted to show you. So I want to keep up with it and make sure I go into it. I wanted to show you the first 3 steps. So I'm going to stop the recording for a second, not the live streaming, just the recording. So I'm going to stop the recording. There we go. All right, recording stop. Again, why am I stopping the recording? I'm stopping it because I can use this same content somewhere else. Okay, so I haven't left my Zoom session. I just stopped the recording and now I'm starting it again. Now the recordings are already separated. Hey, I'd rather Zoom be my assistant, in certain cases than finding somebody else to do it. Why go in and say, oh, I got to cut that, I got to edit it? That's too much work. Let Zoom do it. I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to start the recording. All right, Marquesa here. Now I'm going to share with you really quickly 3 steps where you can start if you're thinking, I really don't host Zoom sessions, so I'm not really sure where to start. Do I got to go study something? What do I need to do? Okay, well, one thing is a no-brainer. Make sure you join virtualbiz.club because, again, I'm not just about the logistics, I'm about the technology and I'm about the strategy. It makes all the difference in the world. Again, me and the folks that are part of Virtual Business Club, it's not just about, ooh, I'm on this awesome platform. There's a lot of platforms to choose from. It's about which platform is going to get me more influence, more income, and allow me to be more impactful with every single Zoom session. Okay, so that matters. All right. So I put 3 steps here. Hopefully I can find it. I think I put it here. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Okay. So you may say, well, Marquesa, you're going to show us the tree. I'm not. That's just my notes. Okay, so the first 3 steps. First things first, without overwhelming yourself, think about the look. And the look, my friend, does not have to be the background. By the way, can I tell y'all a secret? Shh, don't tell anybody. You guys want to know a secret? And by the way, let me just check my messages, because remember, no matter which platform you're on, you are able to send me a message. So I just want to make sure to see if I got any messages. Tara Nickel Youngblood. Hi, lady. She says, oh, good. She says she wants to reach out to me later. Thank you. Make sure you go to team@mlpspeak.com. Okay, so I'm just checking to see. Okay, good. How do you have 2 lines in the name description? And webinar doesn't have breakout rooms still. Yes, that's coming, guys. That's coming. They're going to do that. That's coming. But you're absolutely right. Right now, we do not have that. And then one of the Facebook users said, how did you get to there? I am on Zoom webinar and I'm using the brand. And by the way, you don't have to, you can literally, guys, go into your Zoom webinar, right? And I talked about this last week. All right, so go back and look at the past one. If you're thinking, well, I don't know where it is, go to zoommybiztool.com and we'll put links in there to the last few. Also, if you go to my blog, I also give you steps. Just go right to zoommybiztool.com. There should be a page in there that takes you to my blog, okay? And on my blog, I give you the steps for how to brand your Zoom. So one of the steps is you can create this little fancy, they call this, I can't remember what they call it. I think I call it a name tag. Yeah, you can create the name tag. You can also put wallpaper behind it, which is where the gold comes in. All right, so let me come back and answer your question because I don't have that much time. The question is, what are the first 3 things to start? Start with the look of it, okay? If that matters to you, do not overthink it. And I know a lot of people will run off and say, oh, let me do virtual. One thing that I love that Zoom has done is they're really making it so much easier for us to brand our Zoom. You can go right where the camera is, and there's a little arrow right beside it. And right here, you're going to click where it says choose video filter. What I love about that is that video filter can give you, here, let me click one of them now, can give me a little bit of a different look if I want. Look at that. Look at that. Let's say that I wanted, I can't remember what that's called. Look at that. So Zoom helps me out. Ooh, no, that's a little too orange. But Zoom can help you out a little bit with the looks, okay? You don't have to put that on yourself. You may want to have a little bit of fun. You may say, oh, I want to look like I'm in a TV or something. So go to the filters. Just take the pressure off. You know, you don't have, you can even, have a little fun and say, well, I am doing my TV show or my podcast, they have it all right here. You may just want to keep it soft and say, oh, I just want a flower in my hair. So you can use these strategically, which is my point, okay? Hey, this is my favorite as a speaker. I love this. I had to do an event for a client and it was so much fun to use this one, right? So go again, where do you find this stuff? You can find it right where the camera is, and you just click that arrow to the right. Also, something else I love? They have something called avatars, and I love avatars because, again, when people are coming into your meeting, you can have a conversation with people. You can say something like, now, I'm so glad you're here. Don't worry, Marquesa will be here in a minute. I'm just welcoming you into Zoom, okay? How you doing? What's up? I love it. All of us that have iPhones, we know how much we love that. So I'm going to get out of this. So bottom line is don't overthink the background, but definitely give it some thought. Okay. Another thing, a quick little thing I'd love for you to do, and I'm begging you to do it because it's not hard. Go into your settings in your back end, right? Go into your settings, go into the Zoom meeting settings, and where it says waiting room. I've talked about this before, either upload a video or put a logo there. So think about the look. That's number one. What's the other step? If you want to go get deeper, again, I talk about that at length to the members during special sessions. And they also get access to quite a few of my on-demand talks right within the members portal. Okay, number two, and I gave you a little hint earlier, decide which platform you want to use. There's Zoom meetings. There's Zoom webinar. Now, are there other platforms like Zoom events? Yes, that's a whole different situation. Just for maybe just one to many, I would consider Zoom meeting or Zoom webinar. And stop thinking Zoom webinar means, well, it's a webinar. It has nothing to do with that. Zoom webinar can do certain things that Zoom meeting can't do. Case in point, you see how I have a fancy name tag? And you see when someone else comes on, I'm able to give them a fancy name tag. That's something only Zoom webinar can do. Zoom webinar can give me a wallpaper in the back, only something Zoom webinar can do. Both Zoom meeting and Zoom webinar can give me a special, can show my logo when I live stream. Okay, so again, depends on, that's why you got to ask yourself questions. What's the experience I want to give? Who is it for? What's the end goal? All those different strategic questions will really help you make a decision. I know I worked with one group where I was their MC as well as their producer, and I had a whole production team that helped me. And we decided to start it off on a Zoom meeting and then move it because it was this huge award situation, right, probably 2 months into the pandemic. And of course, they couldn't meet in their normal hotel. They had, I think, 150 people, 150 nominees. Yeah, so it was pretty big. And we moved to the actual formal ceremony onto Zoom webinar. But for Zoom meeting, just to kick it off and have some fun and connect and let people talk, we started it off on Zoom meeting. So give it some thought, but stop limiting yourself. Promise me, okay? So number one, look at the look. Number two, really decide between which platform makes sense. And then number three, think about the flow, baby. What is the flow? How will they come in? Enable the waiting room. Here's a little tip. If you enable the Zoom waiting room, you don't have to use a passcode. Frankly, I think passcodes confuses people. And in the back end settings, you can tell Zoom, do I want to enable the breakout room? And if so, they will remove the passcode, but you can't have it both ways. It's either passcode or waiting room or both, but you can't, you got to choose. So how do you want them to come in? What will happen while they're in? So think that through. Will I put them in breakout rooms? Will I, maybe promote a couple of people? Do I want to spotlight people? So just kind of brain dump what's going to happen during the Zoom. And then number three, what's my call to action? What is it that I want everyone to walk away with? It may be a handout that you want them to walk away with. It may be something else you want them to walk away with. But think about that. So you may say, Marquesa, that was a lot. If you don't remember anything else, your first 3 steps is think about the look, think about the Zoom platform, and then think about the flow. And there you go. And if you have any other questions, make sure you join the Virtual Business Club. Go to virtualbiz.club. And if you just want to upgrade your license, which puts you also in the club, you can go to zoomtoincome.com. All right. I'm so hot. Let me put this. I turned off the air because it would have it's just weird. I do weird things. Okay, guys, let me see. How am I doing on time? I got about 10, a little less than 10 more minutes. Thank you for being here. Let me check my messages to see if there's anything. By the way, if you have not seen my watermark, and I know you're like, Marquesa, that's in such a weird place. Can I move it? No, but I can possibly move my camera in a different place where it's not there, but it's kind of on the side here. So I would recommend, if you're going to do it, that's kind of big, I would make it smaller, and I would also make it transparent as well. So I'm gonna move it around and play with it. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm getting hot. I'm gonna have to turn on the AC, y'all. The girl's getting hot over here. Okay, the AC is on. Here's another thing too. If you're gonna put on the AC, guys, either use, let me see which microphone I'm using. I'm using the Chris microphone, so you can't hear the background noise. Or you can also click the arrow right next to the microphone, right? Go into audio settings, and then you can click, let me do this. You can click suppress background noise. You can do that. So, like right now I got the air on, but I don't want you guys to hear it. So let me see what messages, what questions. Somebody says webinar only has these new features. Well, Zoom meeting gets certain features and Zoom webinar gets certain features, but the answer would be yes. And if you have a regular Zoom Pro account, you're gonna have to pay a little less than $50 to add on Zoom webinar. But if you have the Zoom VIP license, it comes with it, okay? But there's two different, different privileges for both, absolutely. He says logo on top, how? It's called watermark settings. You can Google, how do I get and it only happens during the live stream. Let's make that clear. So I do believe, I did ask folks that are on the Zoom if they saw it, but I don't think you see it unless you're watching me on live stream. So if you're here and you're like, oh, I want to see you on live stream, go to, it's best to go to zoommybiztool.com and just click one of the links where I'm live streaming, like the Facebook link, okay? Let's see what questions I have. Let me see. Okay, guys, for you that are in here, Andrew says, Chris has been upgraded for your sound. Camilla says, can you share your screen? Okay. Yeah, Camilla, I didn't want to get too deep into the how. I do that sometimes, but we can do that. Thank you. We can do that, when we're on a deep dive just with members. Okay, let me see. Okay, guys, any other questions for me? Oh, I got quite a few of you on here. Okay, hey, Regina. Hey, Bridget. All right, guys, any other questions? Raise your hand. This is your last chance. Any other questions? Did you get something out of this? So let me go back to my little outline where I wanted to make sure I covered everything. So what did I promise you guys today? I said, number one, you know what? I forgot something really important. I'm so sorry. Thank you. I knew it was something I forgot. I forgot number 2, which is I got to do what by when, or I can't Zoom. Explain this, please. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Hopefully you're on one of the social media platforms because I have links here. I'm going to put the links in the chat room. If you want to join me right here on this Zoom so you can grab these links, my advice would be to go to zoommybiztool.com and just click on the link. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat room. If you're in my Facebook group, oh, my little thing fell off. If you're in my Facebook group or something, you should already see this. But there's a special link there that gives you instructions. So you can look at those instructions. But this is something that's really important. I really want you to listen to me closely. August the 6th. When is that exactly? When is August the 6th? Is that tomorrow? I think it's coming up soon. I don't even know what today is. Today is the 5th. Oh my God, it's just tomorrow. Okay, so today, promise me, I need you to go to zoom.us/download. I'll put that right here. Oh, yeah, okay. He says, I need to turn on save chat. You should be able to save. Oh, you know what? It's kind of limited, I think, on Zoom webinar with that. But what I'm going to start doing is putting the chat on that page, zoommybiztool.com. All right, let me just put, what was I talking about? This is when the ADHD steps in. What was I talking about? Oh, I know what it was. Zoom.us/download. Go to that page, make it happen. I don't want to hear any complaints, right? I would like you to go and update your Zoom. That's step number one. Please give me a yes, give me a shout, give me a hand if you understand what I just asked you to do, okay? First things first, latest update. Thank you. Woo! Some people already said done. Yes. Number two, what's the second move that I need you to do? I highly recommend that if you haven't done this already, download the Zoom client. Just go to Google and type in, how do I download the Zoom client? Why am I telling you that? Because it gives you 100 more privileges versus just going through the web. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Marquesa, I have an old laptop or whatever, or I don't have a smartphone or whatever, and I cannot download my, the latest update with Zoom. I feel you. In that case, you can still start a Zoom session or participate in a Zoom session through the browser. So you can still do that. You may say, well, how do I do that? How do I do that? You can go right to zoom.us and click join. Do it right through the browser. I don't want you to panic. You can absolutely do that, right? But understand there are some limitations. One of the links, guys, that I put into the chat room was the comparison, I do believe. If not, you can always go to zoom.us to see it. It's a comparison on what you can do when you're in the browser versus when you're using the client. And the client is just amazing. It has my calendar in it. I can brand it. It's fabulous. I don't know why you wouldn't want the client up. It's just this little thing that sits on your desktop. So Google, how do I download the Zoom client? Otherwise, you're going to be limited, my friend. And you want to do all these awesome things. You want to brand it. You want to throw some wallpaper in it. You want to put your signature on it. You want to do all these awesome things. And you're limiting yourself if you do not have the latest version. Okay, so any questions regarding that? I wanted to make sure. I almost forgot to put that on there. So let me look at my talking points. I said, what if I don't really host on Zoom a lot? Any quick tips on where to start? I gave you the 3 tips, okay? Number 2, oh my God, I got to do what by when, or I can't Zoom. Explain this. I put some links in here in the chat room. And also, if you're like, Marquesa, I didn't get the link, just Google, we'll go to zoom.us/download and just Google requiring users to update Zoom, and it should come up that way. I also spotlighted Stephanie. Thank you again, Stephanie, and answered a strategic question on leveraging the breakout rooms, okay? And then number 4 was, and I gave you a teaser on, well, what does a branded Zoom with the logo? How can you have a Zoom that's branded with your logo without the Zoom logo? And it will still say powered by Zoom, but if you notice, it has my logo on it. And you may say, well, how did I do that? Here's a quick little thing. If you're one of my members, you carry one of my licenses, you have to be Zoom Premium to do this, okay? So if you want to know how to do that, send a message to us at team@mlpspeak.com. And I put another email in there just for members as well, okay? So knock that out. Just because you have a Zoom Enterprise license doesn't mean you can do it. That is a special privilege, okay? But for everybody else, or maybe you are a Zoom Premium member, it's a process. I'm not gonna lie, it's a process, okay? So I can't go through that process right now, but I will do that when all the members meet a week from yesterday. So next Thursday, we're gonna have all members meet, and there I'll break it out. But it's not an easy process to do. It requires a few things. So I'm not going to go through that process now. I just wanted you to see the possibilities. All right, guys, this has been so much fun. Members, feel free to stay on here. Or if you want to become a member, stay on here. If you're like, well, what's here? Go to zoommybiztool.com and there's a Zoom link right there. I'm going to stop the live stream. I appreciate your time. This is so, oh, that's right. Oh, Michael, I forgot about that. I'll be cockle-doodled. Before I close out, Michael is so cool. He says, Marquesa, you got to add a segment called the Feature App Friday. Absolutely. And you know what? I'm going to do that. Thank you so much. I completely forgot about that. But yes, I do. It's some awesome, and I do mean some awesome apps that can just take your Zoom to another level. So I will certainly do that. But we're going to get out of here. And I got so many other things for you, but I would love for you to be a part of this group. So just to be a virtual biz club member, guys, is $97 for the year. It's not going to always be that price, okay? And then if you want the Zoom VIP license, then there's an extra fee for that. All right, guys, it's been my pleasure. My name is Marquesa, and they call me the Zoom Queen. My mission is to help you live your best business virtually. If you want a mini makeover form from me, this is members and non-members, make sure you go to the zoommybiztool.com, and I have a little thing there to give you that you can opt into to give you a mini makeover. It's over 3 days. You get a few handouts. And then if you're a member within 90 days, some of you guys I know are a little bit behind, you actually get private time with me, which could really change your game. All right, bye guys. Stay on. Okay.